Okay, so we're all pretty much in love with the new Jurassic Park era in Jurassic World Evolution, but there actually is a good reason to come back to the Jurassic World era eventually, and that is the monorail, because you can build some pretty cool things with it, not just a transportation system from point A to point B. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of examples of structures you can create with the... oh, my mouse is quitting on me. Come on, baby. There you go. With the monorail system. I already did a video on this a while ago, but it was an old video, so not the very best, and I only showed two very basic examples. I'm going to show you a couple more examples in this video, and you can place these in your own park builds when and if you do decide to go back to the Jurassic World era. I haven't been back myself yet, but I do know that I will go back eventually, you know, after the novelty of the Jurassic Park era will wear off. I guess this will be big enough. So we're going to start very simply with a circle. Very exciting, I know. My mouse is quitting on me again. This is going to be an issue, I can already tell. We're gonna lay down some path. Wow, it's really been a long time. Wow, I don't even remember the dirt path being this light, but whatever. I'm going to give myself one more little helper and create one of those. There you go. That's actually a lot better. Sorry about that. So now we can just place it in the corner right there. Line here. It snaps along the... you can hear it? Bam. Snaps along the path over there. And now we just want to make the smallest circle possible, which is... it looks like it's this. And this is a perfect semicircle, so we're just gonna place it, delete that, and there you have just a nice circle. And you can use that as like the basis of a roundabout, I suppose. So you can have paths coming in here. You know, you could have like a little circle in the center. Let's just do something with it. There you can have paths coming through. So, you know, you'd have a path going there to a different section of your park and a path over there. You know, alternating. I'm not making anything pretty right now. I'm just showing you an example of what you could do with you know, the simplest structure possible. You know, you might want to place like trees all around. Fill this in, obviously. Let's just do it for the heck of it. There, so you just have a cute little roundabout section in your park. That'll work. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I hope it'll help and inspire you for your next park build. Now, before we continue with the tutorial, please take a moment to scroll down and hit that subscribe button. That would really help me out. And if at the end of the video you realize, hey, I kinda like this video, please give it a thumbs up and tell me what you think in the comments below. The next thing I'll just show you, even though this is really basic, you can, you've probably already figured this out, but you can also make pretty cute, you know, like gates with it. Not really a gate, but archways. That's the thing I'm looking for, a nice arch for a path to come through. So, you know, you put something like this by your park entrance. That could be really nice looking. You can also create something a little bit more extensive with it. I'm going to need another path for it. This is just as a guide. So what you can do is you can make like an entire row of those arches and have those over a path. So I'm just going to show you. We're going to place it at the very edge. I forgot. I need to put my... my perpendicular, is that the word? Perpendicular path down. So there you go. I'm gonna put it in the corner again because that'll just be easier. We're going with minimum track length. So it's going to be the same length every single time. So we're gonna place it down. And instead of leaving it like this, we're just gonna put another piece there and another piece there. And that is just so you can get the next one really close to it. So we're gonna, there you go. This is as close as I can get it. And we're gonna do two more. Now, you see, if I leave it like this, I can't get really close because he just snaps to that open end. So this would be the closest I could get it. But if I just extend it, oh, like so, then you can see I can get a lot closer to the other one we placed. We're gonna do another minimum length and extend this one as well. And that's just how you keep going until your patience runs out, basically. Here you go, minimum. Extend this one. Doesn't really matter how long it's going to be. We're going to be deleting that later. So it's looking like a mess right now, but it's going to work out in the end. I'm just continuing on just a little bit longer to let you have a good look at the at what the effect is going to be. Let's do one more. Just one more, you know. Putting in the work over here. And we're looking for the closest place to put it. Might have put this one a little bit too much over the path. But then what you're gonna do is you can already see that you have like these pretty good rows. So we're gonna delete all of this. They're not perfectly even, but you know, you can fiddle around with it to get them really perfect. And, you know, like I said, you can continue that for as long as you want, and then you can get a nice, sort of like a nice tunnel effect, because the columns are really close together like this. And I think that looks pretty cool if you have a path coming through there. You know, just imagine something like this being really, really long. That actually looks really cool. I did that in one of my parks, and I really liked how that turned out. So that's also something you can do, just to spruce up a boring bit of path, give it some character. Next up, I keep clicking away the path while I need the path. Next, let's make a really big circular structure. So again, we're gonna use just a guide, I suppose. We're gonna lay down our perpendicular piece of path. We're gonna go back to the track. We're gonna place it in the corner again. Let's just make sure I can... Here, we're gonna put it right on the edge of the path. This length doesn't really matter. We're gonna be deleting that later. My mouse is quitting on me again. Sorry about this. I'm so professional. And now we're gonna make the smallest possible circle. That's fine. We're going to place this one as close as possible. We can delete this guide. We just need to get it right on the edge. There you go. Place that one. Wait, let's extend this one as well. It's a little bit too close, so that's always just a case of trying to find the perfect placement for it. Let's try this distance. Boy. There, now hopefully this works. It does. And you can keep building on that, going bigger and bigger. So I'm just going to do that as quickly as possible. And that's just how you keep going. You keep going further and further out until you're happy with the end result. I'll show a couple more. You can go up until about there, because you really don't want to go beyond the maximum of what you can do with one track length, because then it starts getting a little bit more messy. I'm not being really precise with it right now. My apologies. So, you know, let's just go with this for the example, but you can add more circles to it. Now, obviously, you have all of these columns that you probably don't want to be in there. And how you get rid of the unwanted columns is just by placing down path. So, let's curve a path through. And that's how you get rid of unwanted columns. Now, another way to get rid of the columns is just by placing scenery items. So you can get rid of them with trees, or you can get rid of them with rocks. And you can also get rid of them, obviously, with feeders. So that helps if you're, you know, if you're building like an exhibit with a roof. You obviously don't want to lay down path to get rid of all of the columns. You can place down the scenery items to get rid of them. Now to build on this, we're just going to delete all of that and all of this. You can also, oh boy, extend this design like so. Now he wants to snap together, so we're gonna add an extra bit right there. I'm a little bit misaligned on this design. We're just gonna get it as close as possible. Extend it again, obviously, to avoid issues. And by either going with the maximum length or the minimum length, you can ensure that it's going to be the exact distance every time. Now, obviously, we're going to have a bit of an issue here because I didn't add them perfectly at the same level. He always wants to just snap into the straight position, so that's really helpful. Here, this one is a little bit more curved. Pull this one back. Yeah, that's too close, so we're gonna extend it. And get it sort of even as possible. Not too great. Let's redo this one. There. So that's another example that you can do. You have this, like, you know, from the top it kind of looks like an arch. I did this in one of my parks. It's just that the buildable map ended pretty much there. And I used the center part as an exhibit with a path going all the way around and a viewing gallery right here in the curved section, and I thought that was pretty cool. Now obviously you can connect these two ends and then you have like this elongated design. Curve too sharp. I hate you. There you go. We made it work. It's always a bit of a search, but that's another shape you can do. And yeah, like I said, you can build on this and build more and more circles on top of that. An obvious thing you can also do is just make a straight or a square roof. I'm kind of rushing through because I don't want this video to be too long, but I should do it properly. So we're gonna lay down my guide again. I'm pretty sure that was not straight. There you go. Placing it right on the corner, having it snap to the path over there. So this long piece of track is going to be the end of our roof. And we're gonna see how close we can get this guy. So this is where we're gonna go. And kind of need to eyeball this. Something like that. So we're gonna do another path. There you go. So, oh, I know. We can just delete this one for a second. Extend this. Do this. Oh, wait. Did I do maximum length? I did not. So we're gonna do maximum length. And just, you know, an extra tidbit that we will be deleting later. We're gonna do that. There, that's maximum. Now, I can't get it really close because he wants to snap, so we're gonna approach it from the middle because we can get it close here. And this is too close. You just really carefully want to get him over to the end and line them up. Okay, so that's how we're going to approach it. It was a bit of a search. So that's what our ends are going to be like. And you want to fill in this entire space until you get to that part. So that's what we're going to do, starting from the middle. Really carefully getting it to the end so it doesn't snap together. What you want to do to prevent it from snapping to this side is you're just going to pull it ever so slightly to this side. You know, just a tidbit. And you can fill in the entire roof like this. Okay, so now we finally have our final structure. And of course, when you delete all of this, the side pillars show up again, and that's what you want, because you do want the roof to look like it has some sort of support. So you want the outer pillars of all four edges to remain standing, and maybe, you know, some in the center as well. But obviously we have like this huge maze of pillars in here, and we're gonna turn this into a mall. You know, and then you're just you're gonna place buildings down there to get rid of the pillars as well. You can create a cool little mall. This mouse is driving me insane. Now this is going to be pretty much impossible to get right, because now he's always going to be snapping to either side, so I can't get it perfectly. So that's an issue. If you delete something, well, just curse the gods or Frontier for not including an undo key in this game. It's really pisses me off sometimes, to be perfectly honest. You know, when you're in here, I think it creates a really cool effect. It really creates the effect that you're in a big building. And you just gotta imagine, let's hop into capture mode. You just gotta imagine that instead of, you know, it's just concrete with open sky above. This is a game where you have to play pretend if you want to get the most out of it. You know, you have to use your imagination. That's something I pretty much always say. So I'm just imagining that these are just support beams and that there is a glass paneling between those. So you actually have a roof over your mall. And not just, yeah, a ton of monorail tracks. That's always what I go with in my head, and I think it looks pretty cool. And you know, the archways, they have a nice way of framing the paths when you come into a building like this. And you know, what I showed are just the basics. You can obviously do a lot more different shapes with it. You just have to figure out how to go about it and to avoid the tracks snapping together. And that is a bit of a puzzle, but you can create a lot of cool stuff with this technique. So I just wanted to show you again, because, you know, the first video I did on this, it was a while ago, so I don't think a lot of people have seen it. And I want to give people a reason to come back to the Jurassic World era. I know we are all having a lot of fun with the Jurassic Park era, myself included, but let's not neglect that we have this cool modern era as well. And as great as Jurassic Park era is, we do get a lot more buildings in the Jurassic World era. Lord, that is a big map. But it's also the perfect map to use for building big structures like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't forget to include some examples of parks where I incorporated this design idea. I hope you'll give it a try and that this video helps you figure out how to do it. And for now, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, enjoy the game.